Hello, and welcome to what I hope it will be the first of a number of live streams to celebrate TiddlyWiki's 20th anniversary. As well as being able to join live, these sessions will also be made available on YouTube afterwards, so hopefully will be something that people can enjoy in the future. I can see there's a couple of viewers already. I'd encourage you to join the live chat if you can. I can see that as well. And for members of the TiddlyWiki community, there are instructions for joining the video chat in the TiddlyWiki forum, and so I hope to see some of you there as well. This is my first time live streaming, and so therefore there's the exciting possibility of things not working and things going wrong, but I appreciate your patience whilst we get to grips with things. So it is 20 years since TiddlyWiki was first released, and we had all kinds of suggestions and ideas for things that we might do to celebrate, but the most TiddlyWiki-esque thing seemed to be to go back to something we used to do very regularly, which is to hold what we used to call hangouts on YouTube, where members of the community could join like a Zoom call, and we'd have various discussions. A popular feature of the TiddlyWiki Hangouts was when other TiddlyWiki users would show their own private TiddlyWikis, you know, the kinds of things that you wouldn't be able to share online freely, and that gives some great insight into how people use TiddlyWiki and the degree to which they customize it. So if you're joining us live, do please pop into the chat, and I'd be very happy to take any questions from the chat. Otherwise, and also to add that there is the facility to video chat on here, and there are instructions for joining the video chat in the TiddlyWiki forum. So if you're a member of the forum, go there to find out how to join, and hopefully we will get one or two guests during the test live stream I did yesterday. I was thrilled that a couple of TiddlyWiki community members who I hadn't had the chance to speak to before were able to join. So that was a great start. So I'm hoping today that I have chosen a good time slot to choose to suit at least some TiddlyWiki community members. So please join the chat and fire any questions. And if you're a member of the community, go and have a look in the forum to discover how to join the video chat. While we're waiting, you can see behind me an animation of the evolution of TiddlyWiki 5 in the very early days. This is a frame for each change between about 2011 and 2014. It's actually just bounced back to 2011, so at the moment you can see very early TiddlyWiki 5 without a sidebar. Instead there was a top menu, and then top menu is gone and we now have a sidebar, and that I think reflects some important choices that TiddlyWiki makes when given the choice between looking like an application or looking like a website. TiddlyWiki very often tends to try to look like a website. One of the things that we hope is that visitors to TiddlyWiki who aren't familiar with it, but who just visited a TiddlyWiki site for the content, shouldn't need to know that there's anything special about TiddlyWiki. The way they usually interact with web pages continues to work in TiddlyWiki, albeit not quite in the commonly accepted way. But it's fun to me to see how, this is talking about the animation behind me, to see how much TiddlyWiki changed in those very early days. And conversely, when you get to about there, just before it flipped, that was TiddlyWiki 5 in 2014, which does look almost the same as it looks today. So I can screen share, hopefully, and right now you should be seeing a Chrome window with TiddlyWiki as it looks today, and there's the same basic structure of a sidebar on one side and the main body of the page being a list of what we call tiddlers, but can be considered cards if you like. You can see each one is clearly demarcated, and there's some controls for manipulating these tiddlers. So for instance, I can close a tiddler. That doesn't delete it, it just literally closed it from the display. So by running a search I can reopen that same tiddler. So TiddlyWiki's thing is the idea of having multiple chunks of content that you can interact with at the same time. And when I follow a link, it opens a new tiddler. And so as I continue to follow links, I kind of unfold my own story by following the topics that are of interest to me. This business about being able to scroll back is because the most common thing a very common thing that you do in any wiki is to refactor content. TiddlyWiki has a simple interface for typing stuff, so here I am typing into TiddlyWiki. That experience is not unlike typing into other note-taking software or into Microsoft Word. But when you're editing content, a common thing would be, for instance, to decide that this tiddler is too big and I'm going to cut it into multiple tiddlers. And so at that point, I'm going to go in and edit it, and I'll take the bit that I want from the beginning, and now I need to edit another tiddler. And so it becomes quite handy that I can refer to both of those tiddlers at the same time. So now there was the top part from hello that. So in other wikis like MediaWiki, what you see is people opening pages in different tabs. So if they're copying and pasting from one page to another, they'll use different tabs. TiddlyWiki has a fundamental philosophical belief, which funnily enough is displayed here, and that is that the purpose of recording and organizing information is that it can be used again, so that it can be used again. Kind of obvious, but if you just write stuff down and never read it, that may be therapeutic in some ways, but it doesn't seem as useful as it could be. So because the purpose of recording and organizing information is so that it can be used again, and the value of the recorded information information is directly proportional to the ease with which it can be reused. Goodness me, sometimes I write things in an astonishingly clumsy way. But what I'm trying to say there is that if the purpose of recording information is to use it again, is to reuse it, then we need to optimize for reuse. And TiddlyWiki's observation is that information is easier to reuse if it's cut up into small chunks. So if I hand you a 400-page Word document, it's hard to reuse that. If I hand you individual slides, it's much easier to pluck one out and to reuse it. So TiddlyWiki says, take your information, cut it up into chunks using links and other structures to model the relationships of the data, and then to present different views of the data for the different tasks that are associated with managing information. I'm going to just break for a moment to welcome everybody and say thank you very much for joining me. This is the first of what I hope will be a series of live streams to celebrate TiddlyWiki's 20th anniversary. If you're here, please do jump on the chat. Would love to hear from you. And if you're a member of the TiddlyWiki community, you'll find instructions for joining a video chat so that you can be part of this live stream. And those details are on the TiddlyWiki forum, can be found on the TiddlyWiki forum. Just reading from the chat, Peter says, happy birthday TiddlyWiki. Thank you, Peter. And asks, what are you most excited to see evolve in TiddlyWiki over the next few months? Good question, and excited is the right word. It's funny, even after all these years, there's in my head there's still a lot of work that I would like to do on TiddlyWiki, and I'm very grateful for the chance to continue doing that work. Right now, I think for me the most exciting thing is hard to choose only one thing, but one thing that's both exciting and is taking up a good deal of my time, and I hope will continue to, is what I call Multi-wiki server. And this is a new component for when you run TiddlyWiki as a server. And obviously for an enormous number of users, TiddlyWiki they primarily interact with it as a single HTML file, but it turns out running it as a server is not hard at all. TiddlyWiki goes out of its way to make the server configuration as simple as possible to get up and running. And the server configuration has always had some advantages over the single file configuration. The fact that multiple people can interact with the same instance at the same time makes it, gives it some primitive multi-user capabilities. But that side of TiddlyWiki, what we call TiddlyWiki under Node.js, has, say, historically not been as popular as the single file configuration, and we, for a long time, we treated that functionality as being for personal use. The idea was if you had a single file wiki, it would be very easy, it is very easy, to run it as an HTTP server, which for instance means that you can run it on your laptop and connect to it from other devices in your house so that you can make edits from anywhere. But the TiddlyWiki under Node.js has never been a full-fledged multi-user backend. And by that I mean really the functionality that you expect of an online web service. you go to a page, it invites you to create an account. You create a username and password, or perhaps sign in with your existing Google credentials or something, and you are able to create and edit multiple wikis, all sitting on the same server. And the exciting thing about Multi-wiki server is that those wikis can share tiddlers. TiddlyWiki has always had this idea that you'd bring your data in as tiddlers, and then you'd be able to build your own custom task-specific user interfaces over that data to help you accomplish the range of tasks that we need when we deal with knowledge. A part of that is a sort of slicing and dicing. So, for instance, Eric Schulman, a prodigiously productive member of the TiddlyWiki community, has recently been building tools for working with geographic data, what we call geospatial data. And those tools have this property that you have a TiddlyWiki, you drop Eric's tools in, and then you drop some data in, the tool automatically sees the data and presents a visualization. So that's this way that you can compose TiddlyWikis by combining tiddlers from different sources. So another TiddlyWiki community member, Elise Springer, who kindly joined the test live stream we did yesterday, has a really interesting configuration where she has a bunch of tiddlers that are teaching material that she uses as a university professor, and then she has separate bundles of tiddlers that are her feedback for individual students, and then those bags of tiddlers get combined so that each student gets their own custom view of the learning material that they're working with and their professor's feedback alongside it and interlinked with it. So those kinds of applications of TiddlyWiki aren't possible, or are certainly not easy, with the single file edition. That what unlocks those applications is this ability to slice and dice tiddlers, to compose them. And Multi-wiki server uses a design that has been around for 15 years now. We first came up with in TiddlyWeb, which was this often a good place to start, the simplest possible way I could come up with for this sharing of tiddlers to happen. And it's basically your tiddlers are stored in bags, which are containers with access control. So you may or may not be able to read or write the contents of a particular bag. And then we have a thing called a recipe, which lists a series of bags. And then when you create a wiki, it's based on a recipe. And so that wiki is composed of each of the bags of tiddlers specified in the recipe, applied over the top of each other in order. So that means, for instance, the recipe can have say a default bag, which in the case like Elise's, which would be material that's going to be visible to all students, and then a recipe for a particular student would specify that default bag, then the student-specific bag, and then the teaching material bag, and then they would get all that material folded together. So I will demonstrate this shortly so that we can see this running. But perhaps to the spirit of your question, Peter, was about what I'm excited about. So what I'm excited about is that while I'm proud that TiddlyWiki's single file nature has made it possible for people who I think might not have been able to build their own custom tools, that they know are secure and preserve their privacy. I'm proud of all of that. But I also feel that sometimes that defines TiddlyWiki, or it might define it in other people's minds. When in fact, after all this time, I really see TiddlyWiki as a very pure and generic way of modeling data and of building user interfaces, custom user interfaces to manipulate that data. I don't know how much we'll be able to get into technicalities, but TiddlyWiki is a bit like Smalltalk. It's actually a language for writing applications, and the application that you see here of me clicking around and opening and closing things is really just an example of what you can build with TiddlyWiki, and everything that you see can be customized by users or by other developers. So thank you for that question, and I hope that was a fun answer. I've also like to thank Delta for happy birthday greetings, and great to see Simon Huber, also known as Burning Tree C within the community. Thank you all for joining me. To add that if you're able to, there is a video chat which there are joining instructions in the TiddlyWiki forum, and so do please hop over there and find out how to join, and then I'm hoping we can welcome some guests onto the live stream. Simon, I don't know if you're still there, Simon Huber. It would be very glad to have further questions to discuss. Otherwise, I might go into a demo of MWS, which would just take me a moment to set up. So bear with me while I do some clicking behind the scenes and just get things running. Just me trying to remember. Oh, something's happened. I heard a beep. Are we still transmitting? Yes, that looks good. Wow. Okay, sorry, forgive me. That might be my unfamiliarity with live streaming. Not quite sure what happened there. But that was this. Okay, I think. Oh, I don't know what's going on here. Forgive me. Let me just turn. Okay, trying again. I think that was just a browser tab that randomly woke up and started playing sound, so there's a good lesson there about not having browser tabs with videos playing. Forgive me, I am just getting Multi-wiki server up and running so that I can run a very quick demo. And oh, again, I'm hearing some okay, I'm not sure what's going on there, but that sound was not what I was expecting. Um, uh, um, okay, you should be able to hear me now. Uh, how's that going? Can you hear me? Great. Um, Give the small technical flaw there. Um, uh, I've got greetings from Joel Adami in the chat, who says happy birthday. Thanks, Joel. Um, uh, I oh, hang on, I'm again getting sounds that I didn't expect. Is that? Oh, okay, great. So now we've got. So sorry, forgive my. I think. Great. Hi. You are live on the TiddlyWiki live stream. Can you hear me? Hey, can you hear me? Uh, I'm not sure. Uh, oh, so that, of course, they're probably whoever the person who was trying to join would have been, I think, looking at the YouTube. Was that you, Simon? It looked like it might have been Simon Huber. Um, anyway, if you were trying to join the video chat, that did work. And so bear with me and try again. And we'll try and master that technical detail. Um, Joel says, I'm always feeling like I'm just starting to use it. What would you recommend for somebody who wants to freshen up on concepts or learn the expert tricks? Well, that's a great question. What's the best way to freshen up on TiddlyWiki concepts and learn expert tricks? Going to come back to that because the we have a visitor on the chat. Hi, can you hear me? And would you like to introduce yourself? I'm not sure. You should be able to see me. Can you see me? Uh, no. Hey, yeah, it sounds like you might be getting some lag. Would you like to introduce yourself? Would you like to introduce yourself? It's great to see you, Simon. Simon, for those who don't know, is yeah. No, this is. Hmm. I wonder if there's something. I wonder. Hmm. Simon, thank you for your patience. We will figure this out. There's. Um, are you seeing me on the live stream or are you seeing me on Video Ninja? Okay, okay, okay. I'm gonna try and rejoin the video chat. Forgive me, and again, thank you for your patience. And let's see. Okay, it thinks now that you should be able to see me. Can you see me on that window? No, no, maddening. See. Hmm. Uh, this was the only bit I wasn't able to um, check before. I mean, it thinks that the director's preview is on. Um, uh, I'll just turn it off again. So, according to that, you should be able to see me. This is insanely annoying. Um, Let me view settings, highlight directors. Uh, has that changed anything? Uh, Simon, thank you for bearing with me. Look, Simon, even with the lag, I can keep trying to understand what's going on, but perhaps you could give a longer introduction to yourself and your work with TiddlyWiki. Just before you do, I just want to emphasize that Simon has been an incredibly industrious and valued member of the community for I don't know how long. You probably remember, but uh, Simon is one of those people who, when he's engaged with TiddlyWiki, it's like he's looking over my shoulder and working together, which we've now been doing for many years. So I'm very pleased to get the chance to say how much I've appreciated that and enjoyed the chance to work with you. And with that, please, as I say, speak for as long as you can, so to speak, and we'll try and figure out the latency as well. Annoyingly, I'm on chat. They're saying that they can't hear you, which is annoying. Let me see if oh, I've broken it now. Uh, okay, yeah, you still there, Simon? Would you like to try talking again? Okay, Bert is here and says that she can hear some mumbling from you, so it may be a level problem. Um, Try again. So thank you for your patience. I can hear you perfectly. It sounds like the latency is a bit better, is it? Mm, Let's see. What- Um, I think that in an ideal world, you would be seeing me in the Video Ninja window, and then you'd pause the live stream. I think, but I cannot see how on earth this is why this isn't working. Simon, forgive me. That's absolutely maddening. Um, would you like to try to, again, and we'll just see whether. Okay, so what they're saying is that how they're hearing you is through the mic. So let me see, what's that? That's unmute. So that's okay. I've just turned up your volume. Would you mind speaking again? Just try speaking again, Simon, just to get a level. Um, I've made you I've made you louder, but it probably just means that you're coming through my speaker. I mean, it's coming through my mics again. How maddening. I don't understand how. Um, can I get? Okay, maybe this will help. Okay, Simon, can you try speaking again, please?
Yes, do you hear me?
I hear you. But it'd be great if somebody on chat could confirm whether they're hearing Simon well enough now. Yes, great. We're getting the thumbs up. Thank you so much, everybody, for your patience. I will. Uh, I'm chatting here with
Okay,
Simon Huber, who's longtime contributor to TiddlyWiki. We're on a delay, so it's kind of like Simon's on the moon and I'm on Mars or something. But great to have you here, Simon. And now that everybody can hear you, I'd be delighted if you could introduce yourself and talk to us a little bit about your work with TiddlyWiki. And thanks for your patience.
okay, I am Simon. I am now 38 years old and I am working as a full stack specialist. I'm using TiddlyWiki with my work for documentation, and I used it in the past during my studies. It's terrible with the lag because I hear what I'm saying 10 seconds later.
Technicalities. I wonder how this is what's supposed to happen here. This is very annoying. Um, I
Okay, now it's. I just muted the YouTube video and I will go on.
okay, great.
Um, just raise your hand, Jeremy, if you want to reply. Um, what did I want to say? Well, during my studies, I studied electrical engineering and medicine. Didn't finish, but I discovered TiddlyWiki during that time and used it to store all the information inside. And then I went down the rabbit hole and started tweaking the wikis I made and discovered HTML and CSS and what I could do with them. And I discovered the possibilities that lay within TiddlyWiki. And it was like a little a tool where you can discover what you can build, where you can play, where you can create different things. It was a great source of creativity for me. And I was always interested in open source and Linux and all this stuff. And so an open source wiki where I could program a bit and where I could participate with the code base was a great thing for me. So I started doing some contributions. First, I did some translations. Then I tried fixing some annoying stuff. And then after a while, I made the keyboard shortcuts, the global keyboard shortcuts with the help of Jeremy. And yeah, at the moment I am trying to make the CodeMirror 6 editor and TiddlyFlex. I don't know if you know it. TiddlyFlex is a flexible flexbox layout for TiddlyWiki. And yeah, I'm playing around a bit. I'm on vacation now and using the time I have to fix TiddlyFlex. Yes, I can screen share. I can do a demo. Okay, I think now you can see TiddlyFlex. This is, well, it's not that great on a small screen like this. This is a laptop. I use it on a 27-inch screen. There it's a little bit more exciting. Yeah. Basically, what you have is a top bar here. You have different columns. You can add columns. You can remove columns. You can filter the columns by the search input, like about, and you can see that it filters out the empty columns and it filters out all the tiddlers that don't have the word about in one of its fields. Then you can use this little thingy to change the sidebar width. you can drag tiddlers around. That's a nice game. Nice. I like doing that. So this is all wiki text. It's not an external library. So the drag and drop animations, they are wiki text, CSS, and drag start, drag enter, drag leave actions. Should I stop?
That's great, Simon. I think, in fact, that people really enjoy demos. I know it's very awkward doing it with the lag, but it's really great to to see you actually showing stuff yourself. So I would urge you to continue. I guess I what TiddlyFlex for me would be a great example of an advanced TiddlyWiki tool that answers a need that I think lots of people have. You know, TiddlyWiki is complicated enough. It tries to be simple, so we just get a single column of tiddlers, and that makes for a user experience that hopefully is the right balance of not too challenging for people who are unfamiliar with TiddlyWiki. But for with tools like TiddlyFlex, what I see is a much more a sort of joyous response to something that TiddlyWiki users regularly talk about, which is that many of us have relatively large screens that are very wide, and native TiddlyWiki, as you can see it right now, in fact doesn't make great use of a super wide screen. I think this is both satisfying a lot of users' needs and also a great example of the way that TiddlyWiki's plugin architecture allows people to go really deep on these ideas for new features. But Simon, that was by way of giving you a chance to gather your thoughts and perhaps show us a little bit more. But thank you so much. I think you can see that people in the chat are enjoying the demo. So thank you. Do please continue, Simon.
Yes, you're welcome. I can, if you want, I can demo the CodeMirror editor.
Hi. Um, you'll have gathered there's a terrible lag, but if
I
the
can hear you.
oh, great. Please introduce yourself. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Simon's just taking us through a TiddlyWiki plugin he's working at the moment called CodeMirror 6. It looks like we've also got Scott here as well. Let me move myself over here. There you go. Scott, say hi and introduce yourself. How's the lag for you?
I can't tell how the lag is. I'm just listening, and so far everything seems to be good. But
Great. Well,
I
glad you
also
could
have
join
the
us.
live feed going. I don't know how that is.
I can hear you. I believe I hear you through the Video Ninja tool.
Good.
Yep. So the lag from hearing both of them.
Okay. Well, Simon, do you continue with the demo?
All right. I'm back on only Video Ninja for audio because there was a fairly large lag when I talked here and then heard it over the YouTube link. It was like 4 or 5 seconds maybe.
Yes.
Clearly not doing everything right, I'm
I don't
afraid.
know what it is. Not downloading anything. So, yes. If you want, I continue with the CodeMirror 6 demo. It's a text editor for TiddlyWiki with some nice features like autocompletion, indentation. I don't know what. You have syntax highlighting for Markdown, JavaScript, CSS, Python, Rust. It's all listed here. JSON, maybe that's relevant. SQL. I just wanted to highlight the actions you can add to the editor. Basically, you type a string. Here, this is a already defined string, like this one, and an action gets triggered, and you can define that action by creating a tiddler. I believe it's giving it the text CodeMirror action, and do something really strange with it.
Yes, this is very TiddlyWiki. This design is much better than the other CodeMirror 6 plugin.
Yes, the other CodeMirror plugin doesn't have these actions. I believe the author removed them because he forked this version where there have already been the CodeMirror actions. Now, if I type hello, the sidebar disappears. Okay, I could make it a toggle. So if I type hello again, the sidebar appears. Yeah. What else? Actions triggered by character sequences. That's what I just demoed. Here we have.
Excuse me 1 second. Can I just ask who it is that's talking? I missed the intro here.
Oh, I am talking about. You missed who is talking or what I'm talking about?
Who? I know what you're talking about, but who are you? I haven't seen you before.
I am Simon Huber. I'm from Italy, North Italy, South Tyrol, So I'm basically German speaking,
Okay.
and I am Burning Tree C on the forum or on GitHub.
Okay. Thank you.
And
Yeah,
you're
see you
welcome.
many times.
What did you say?
Oh, I see you many times introducing your plugin in a formula.
Ah, yes, yes. Now I see Jeremy on the video Ninja,
Okay, and can
but
you
I
hear
can't
me?
hear you.
You can't hear me. Let me see if I can
Yeah, we
fix.
can't hear you, Jeremy.
Okay, what about can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes,
Oh my goodness
perfect.
me. Oh my goodness me. It's all working. I don't believe it. Wow. Well, let's let me now that we're all in the same time zone, let me pause briefly to again welcome everybody to the first of what I hope will be a few live streams to celebrate TiddlyWiki's 20th anniversary. I'm incredibly glad to see you all here. There's some familiar names and some unfamiliar names scrolling past in the chat, but I really appreciate you dropping by. And it's great to get everybody's comments and questions. I will keep all of the questions, and we will get through them all over the course of these live streams. And right now we've got Bunny AK saying us the recipient. I might take a moment to sort of frame this from my point of view. That TiddlyWiki has always had a very primitive edit. It is available in HTML editable, and for that, it's partly well, you actually rely on the on and wrap and for very to provide this for from TiddlyWiki's point of view, this longer so that users have freedom to explore different solutions rather than belonging core. CodeMirror 6 is in a sense a bit like TiddlyWiki. It's the result of people iterating a design several times. So CodeMirror 6 pretty much throws away the previous version, from the ground up, rethinking how you make programming on the web. And I think it's to say the complexity of CodeMirror 6 makes it quite a challenge to integrate it with Wiki. In fact, there are two CodeMirror 6 and TiddlyWiki versions at the moment, which I think take a different approach. Simon will be able to talk more about that. Simon has a history of developing TiddlyWiki add-ons that have become very popular. And Simon is great at responding to feedback, and so has built quite an audience. And I think when the CodeMirror 6 editor is done, will also be very popular. With that, back over to you, Simon. I just wanted to frame what you're showing us and hopefully put across why I'm excited to see this work as well.
Yes, okay. The two versions of the CodeMirror 6 editor, they are basically the same code base, like the engine, the CodeMirror engine is the same, but I don't know how to pronounce his name. Oeus.
Oh, that's a abbreviation.
Oh, okay. You got it. I mean him. He took the editor and extended it using TypeScript. I looked at his code base. I don't understand anything. I don't know TypeScript. I don't know what he did. So kudos to him. He made a really great editing experience. But I wanted to stuck at the basics and wanted to fix the bugs on the root of the edit of the implementation. So I stick with my CodeMirror, let's say, branch, and went ahead with it.
Yes,
And
I think TypeScript is I can regard it as a problem in this ecosystem because I found there's never other people contribute to my TypeScript code base. I mean TypeScript, yeah.
You have made the CodeMirror plugin.
No. I mean, I write many plugins using TypeScript, and never other people contribute to them because maybe other people don't understand TypeScript much.
Yes, coming from
I,
JavaScript, I don't know if it's easy to understand TypeScript. I'm too lazy to learn another language, and
I intentionally avoid it. I have some problems with TypeScript, and so I stay away from it entirely.
Yes, understand. People, we have limited time to write plugins, so but we need to spend more time on our life. Yeah, enjoy it.
yeah. But when you already know TypeScript and you see still see something on sharing as it's up now.
Yeah, it's open.
That would be from art.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, so you also creator of TiddlyFlex, like are you?
Yes.
I use like of
If you have big screen, and then Google problem and I solution I use TiddlyFlex and stuff because it first I find some lines and you look at them in the repository, or I can show you.
Okay, really sorry to interrupt, but it appears that this video chat component is not working properly in Steam. So although I'm in the video chat, you can hear and see you.
Oh, yeah, I totally done.
It seems that the audience can only hear my hearing. And I